Hi viewers, welcome to NCKHUB. If you like our videos, kindly do subscribe and follow us. Thank you.
Hi, welcome back to Azure series. Today we are going to discuss about DNS zone in Azure. DNS is nothing but domain name service, which you can do call it as an URL, which you are going to create and deploy. So under this one, we will be having zones where in regularly in our office premises, we do create child zones, records like a record or namespaces, a text records like this. So those will be child records. So those we are going to have a look today, and we are going to cover DNS zones. The agenda for today session is I will be creating a DNS zone, and under this we will discuss about details and child sets. So let's start. So this is the DNS zone where you can do click on the DNS zone services. So once you do click on this, if you can see already there is one existing zone. I am going to delete it for you people, make it clear that it is scratch. From the scratch, it looks everything clear and good. So I have deleted this one. Just wait for a while till it gets completely deleted. I think it's been loading. I'm trying to check it out once again. Okay, it is deleted. So let's start creating a DNS zone. So DNS zone in Azure, as I said, it is a domain name server which you can do create for your environment in Azure to create and map your application services to map to the point and call it directly to your domain name. Example www.google.com or www.microsoft.com or https microsoft.com, anything secured or unsecured. So this DNS which it provides from the Microsoft point of time like this. Example, if you can take the website, if you want to create a website like this, you have to create a zone for this one under the domain name server. You have to name it, and later you have to create certain child records. Suppose if you want to create initially in your office premises, development environment, test environment, production environment, likewise, you have to create a child sets. Finally, we'll be deploying your required DNS. So from the Azure, what are the benefits? DNS hosted along with your applications and fast DNS queries. You can do host your domain DNS records along with side of your applications. And DNS in Azure works very fast. That means get faster responses. You will be getting very good and effective, very good performance wise faster responses where globally you can do access your networks. It allows multiple DNS queries to trigger from the end user point of time. Without any wait, the zones will be collected and talk to multiple DNS records as well. So this you can do deploy in your private zone as per your requirements, and you can do easily access in a secured way as well. So let's start creating a DNS zone. So this is the create button which you have to click on creating a DNS zone. So once you have everything is available to create a DNS zone, first you have to get your for our application HTTPS is having any OpenSSL or security layer. You have to pass those required things, and you have to access your application like which region, which country, and also the application is related to which domain. Example, e-commerce and banking, finance, like that you have to select, and you have to create a secured socket layers accordingly. Next, you have to name your DNS zone. Example here, if you want to see here, application name which you have to provide is example www.soandsoabcd.com or test.com, dev.com, like that you have to create. So for the current requirement of this session, I am creating Azure series .com. Like this, I am going to create and going to deploy in US East 1. If you deploy your child existing zones also, that will be called automatically by enabling this one, where you have to just select the parent zone which is available. Already it is existing. And if you want to transfer from the existing, those also can be done. So currently I'm not selecting any parent one. I'm directly going with the required, which is available. So now I am going to click on next DNS zone editor. These DNS zone editor is the one if you already have a text file where you want to supply your DNS records between different DNS systems. You can do add your text file or anything and you can do pull it. So here in our case, it is not required. It is completely optional and as per your needs, you can do create. So here I am going to name it name domain name. I am naming it as like this. Next, I will be reviewing and I'm going to just, as of now, there are no record sets. After that, if we want to create a zone record sets, we can do create as well. And also child also we can do create. So let's start, click on create. So while it is being creating and deploying in mode, let's start check it out, guys. So this is the azureseries.com under the ID. So if you can see, this is the deployment is in progress, which you can see. So these are the deployment details. What it is going to deploy is, wow. If you can see this DNS zone, the zone with respect to the azureseries.com has been deployed. Let me go to the resources. So if you can see here, this is the overview. And if you want to associate any IAM role for this, you can do associate. The tags, if we have associated already a name and domain name, that will be associated. And if we want to check any settings and record sets, all these we can do manage. So let's come back to the details or essentials or the overview of Azure Series.com. If you can see, this is the resource group, which I am using as of now. The number of records it can contain is 10,000, which is very good. So these are called namespaces or name servers. So if an end user or customer clicks on Azure Series.com, first at the backend, it will do connect to the namespace 1, name server 2, name server 3, name server 4, any of this, and it will do redirect to the required application. And if you can see, it is having two record sets as of now. What are those record sets we are going to check? So if you can see first, it will be having the details of servers NS1, 2, 3, 4, which I just shown you. It is containing namespace. So this is the SOA, SOA. So if you can see NS, it is the type and SOA. Like this, we will be having text record and alias like this multiple records will be there, cname canonical name records. So those if we want to create, we have to create different record sets. So let's start. Before creating a record set, I want to create if I have any child zone and if I want to create a record set, what is the thing I have to do? So if I am planning to create a record set, I need to click on add. Suppose in your environment of Azure Series.com, you are planning to create any application with IP pointing, then if you have to address it with 0.0.0. And if you have any application that is with text record. So example, here I am going to add here dev environment dev.azureseries.com. So if I click on this one, add, it is going to fail. Just observe it. Alias records as of now. If I'm not mentioning anything, but IP address also I'm not mentioning anything. So if you can see it, I'm just clicking on add. So without any required IP address, I am not mapping means this is not the required one. But eventually it should load somewhere, which is not actually the one which I just created. It doesn't have any type of a record which is going to map alias target. So usually it should not happen like this. We have to map it via the target. That target example, if you can see, dev env. So we have to create certain alias records which should map to your Azure resources. So example, traffic manager, public IP address, what is a static web application or front door application. Like this, you have to select something which is available. So how long this should live? 1 hour. Like that, you have to map your alias record set also. Next, after that one, you have to click on add. So once the record is available with so and so particular public IP address, then what it will do is it is going to refresh and retrieve that alias target details. If you can see, it is surprisingly it's working really good. If you can see, I have mapped it to the public IP address, where this public IP address is going to talk to the alias target of the required public IP which I have selected via the alias. So this way we can do map and create record sets. So like this, if we want to create a child zone, so this is the record set for the azureseries.com. So if I want to create a child zone, what I have to do? So already I have a parent zone, azureseries.com. If I am planning to create a child zone, so Azure series child one. So like this, if I am planning to create a child, this will be the child call of this parent or mother request. So example, if this is treat like this is a test environment and it has to be part of Azure series. Like this, I have to create, even if I do not mention also, if you can see, the test dot is going to map it to the required thing. So if I have the same domain with azureseries.com, I can do browse it the file and I can do create. So name here, I am going to name it as the name. This is test env. Next, I will be clicking on review. Oh, sorry. Next, I will be clicking on create after the complete review. So if you can see, there are no record sets for this test environment, which I have taken. So now I'm going to click on create under the parent domain azureseries.com. Let's wait for the record, sorry, the child zone to get it published or deploy under the parent azureseries.com. So deployment is in progress, if you can see. So the deployment of DNS zone, which you can see, this is the child zone under the main zone of azureseries.com, guys. So if you can go to the resource, if you can see, this is the test series, test.azure series, test environment of Azure series. So likewise, you can do create a child as well. Under this child also, if you want to monitor and manage, you can do create multiple sets of records. So as of now, I'm not going to look into that one. If you can see the activity log of this environment, so at what time it was connected and what are the details of this, you can do check the activity logs. And similarly, if you want to create record sets for the DNS management under the test environment, if you want to map any subdomains or sub records, you can do create those record sets under this DNS management. So let's check and have a look under this record sets. If you can click on this test.azureseries.com, it's being load in process. Let's wait it for a while till it load. Or else if this is being loading also, we can go to the home page, and if you can see here child sets or the record sets which are available. So these are the one. So if we can go to the home page and if we can see the Azure series. So if you can see Azure series is the main thing and this is the child of this one. So let's check it out. What are the child? Those are available, and under this one, do we have how many records we can also see. So if you can see, there are the 5 records. Previously, when we created, only namespace is there with the name server, and after that we have created server by default. It can next alias record dev environment. Next we have created one more name server which is test. So this is the child record set or the zone which you can see now as of now. So similarly, if you want to click on once again and get into the details, so 2 in numbers maximum and 2 10,000 number of requests which we can do trigger. And if you want to connect this and open this, and if you want to add it to the favorites, you can do add as well. So let's check it out. So the overview is being loading for azureseries.com. Sometimes it bothers. It's not regular. Sometimes it loads very slow. So let me refresh once again. Yeah, it's loading us. So if you can see, these are the name servers, number of records, and this is the name, domain name, and 5 record sets. All these details you can see. So this is the child zone, which you can see. So this is about how a domain name sets. And if you want to create any alerts for the domain name which you has triggered, you can do create an alert. And if you want to observe the metrics, where the monitoring metrics, you can do configure it, and accordingly you can do monitor as well. So these are the details of Azure series.com, how we can do create a domain DNS, example url.com, test.com, or google.com, microsoft.com. Like this, we can do manage a DNS in Azure, and we can do create a child zone and record sets. So this is about if you have any already existing also. where you can do import it like this by browsing the DNS zone file. And also if you have any import, rather than that import, if you want to export this to other domain and other different record sets also, you can do export it, guys, if you can see. So this way you can do export it. This is the option which is available in Azure, where you can do export the available domains like this. A file will be downloaded and text file will showcase you all the record files of the same sets, where you can do export the data. So this is exported file zone, zone name, records, name servers. All these details can be easily exported to you guys, if you can see. So this is the text file which we are talking about while creating the records. So this is about DNS management in Azure. I hope this gives a basic understanding for the beginners how to create a domain, how to map a www.environment.com, under that how to create child test environments, and how can we create child set or a child zone or a record set, and how can we import if we already have any zones available. And if similarly, if we want to export, we can do export as well. If you want to enable domain name system security also, you can do click on this domain name system security. Likewise, you can do secure your domain also. So this is about how to manage a DNS in Azure. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching our session. And I encourage and I request you, if you have any questions, please reach on to us. Please post your feedback for any requests to talk about any new topic in Azure. Thank you, and please do subscribe us and encourage us. Thank you very much for watching our channel.